The flavor of the month. Which character is most overpowered? Who's the strongest? What is going to give me the best chance to win a match? These are questions that we get all the time in any game that has a big roster of characters, and Overwatch is no different. This is a game where you have a select few slots to fill. You ideally want to put the most effective, strongest heroes for the given situation at any given time to increase your likelihood of winning. Now, there are always these flavor of the month characters that kind of the general player base perceives as the strongest. And right now, when it comes to supports, I strongly believe Ana is that character. She has really risen to a very strong position and is perceived very positively by the community at large. But you look at recent videos by someone like Video Game Donkey, and while everyone shits on him for picking heroes that they don't perceive as particularly strong. But the interesting thing about this is this community perception constantly changes based on patch buffs and nerfs, based on what professional players are playing, based on what people are talking about online. All of this comes into play to how the community perceives and as such reacts to the different picks. Now, what I want to focus on in this video is particularly Ana's current flavor of the month status and how she came to this position. So we're going to look at her in relation to the other support characters. First off, we'll talk about Lucio. Ignore Lucio. Lucio's never really been a flavor of the month hero because he's been a flavor of every month hero. Has always been strong. He's been one of the default of 2 healers with a rotating cast of secondary healers. The first of which was Mercy. When Overwatch initially launched, Mercy was the first flavor of the month healer. Resurrection was considered invaluable, a must-have for every team and every engagement. In fact, it was often said that whatever team had the best resurrection timings won. The most effective reses done at the proper time, that is what decided who won and lost games. That was the general consensus. Resurrect got nerfed, which then brought us into our second flavor of the month healer, which was, yes, of course, Zenyatta. With Mercy's nerfs and Zenyatta's buff, his Transcendence getting a huge buff, the fact that Discord Orb is 50% damage, Zenyatta also got a buff to his health. Zenyatta at that point was considered a must pick, but then Zenyatta got nerfed. It was decided that Discord Orb was a bit too strong. They dropped that down to 30%. And it's that 20% difference that apparently was significant enough to make people start looking at Ana, and now we have our current flavor of the month hero. It's her, Ana. She didn't see too much play when she was released because Zenyatta was so strong, but with his nerf, she took his place, and we started to see some interesting things like this 3-3 meta with tanks and healers. Ana is in a really strong spot, even post her ultimate nerf, which just recently went through in this last patch earlier this week. Ana still seems in a very strong spot, and the community has a very positive opinion of her. You're not going to get much flack if you pick Ana. And you know what? I can't say that I blame people who have a negative response when someone picks a hero who isn't flavor of the month, who isn't considered in the current meta, because people play this game with the objective of winning, and you rely on your teammates. So when people think that one of their teammates are doing something, whether that's a hero pick or whether it's poor plays, poor judgment, whatever, that is gonna stop them from being able to win, people will get frustrated. But I think the real problem is that just because the community and the forums and the current meta is giving people the perception that if you're playing healers, you can only play one of these 2, or if you're playing DPS, you can only play one of these 2. Just because there's that general sentiment doesn't mean it's 100% accurate in 100% of situations. Mustn't we forget that Overwatch is a game about hero swapping. You can, and as such, you're supposed to respond to the given situation, be it the map, the point that you're at, how far you've pushed the payload, and what the enemy team has for their comp that's giving you problems. Swapping heroes makes sense, and it's supposed to happen. So when people get all uptight because you're not picking the perfect hero that they think, or that the forums think you should be playing at a moment, it doesn't mean that it has to be that way. But again, I get it. I understand why. because people want to win their games. Nevertheless, just because Ana is the current flavor of the month healer, this doesn't mean that Mercy or Zenyatta don't have a spot. There's still going to be plenty of situations where Resurrection could be a key ability to help your team win a match. If you're pushing really far from your spawn point, having Resurrect on your side to swing a team fight that you just lost back in your favor is indispensable. Or Zenyatta. Zenyatta's Discord Orb, although not as strong as it used to be, is still going to be very strong at dealing with flankers that are giving you a hard time, like Tracer or Genji, or dealing with enemy tanks that are problematic, such as Roadhog if he's getting a lot of picks. Having that Discord Orb on these key targets make them easier to take out. And we can't forget that Transcendence is still an amazing ultimate as well. Yes, Ana is considered the current flavor of the month. Nano Boost is considered incredibly strong, and it still is, in my opinion, even after that 20% cost increase. It didn't change how effective Nano Boost is. Her grenade got stronger. She still has the best single target burst healing in the game, and I've had tremendous success with her. I think she's also personally one of the more fun healers to play. There's something really satisfying about having a big impact on one of your allies who's taken a lot of damage. Much more satisfying than I get from healing with Lucio. It's like, hey, let me watch one of your bars go up every 30 seconds. So yeah, Ana is the current flavor of the month. She's currently considered the best healer in conjunction with Lucio, but the other healers still have their place. And this is going to apply to all of the other heroes in the game as well. They all have their place. There's situations for every one of them where they could be useful. And if you think that situation has arose in one of your games where one of the off-meta or non-flavor of the month heroes could come into play and be effective, don't be afraid to pick it, even if some prick on your team gives you a hard time about it. All right, my friends, that's gonna do it for me here today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, I'd love to know what you think in the comments section below. Hope you also have a good afternoon, and until next time, I'll see you later.